Hi and hello, my name is John Falto and I will be your host for this webinar. Now, we still have some people logging in, so just let me take a few moments to do a little bit of housekeeping and go over some of the ground rules. If you are watching this webinar live, please note that I have put everyone on mute mode. If you have any questions, any concerns, anything that you want to go back on, there's a chat box to your side. Just enter your question there. I will either try to answer it during the webinar, or we will have a little bit of Q&A afterwards, or if not, my assistant Evelyn will be happy to help you in that regard. I see it looks like we've got everyone in, so let's get this started. And to do so, let me ask that most important question, or actually make a statement. According to Consumer Group, more than 80% of small business people are overpaying their taxes. Now, why are self-employed business people, and these are smart people, paying between $9,943 to over $100,000 in taxes, more than they have to? Well, it's a rhetorical question, but that's why you're here. We are here to learn how to keep more, well, actually teach you how to keep more of your hard-earned money. So let's be honest and face reality. I am guessing that you got into your own business to make money. Simple. And you work long and hard hours to do so. However, every year, people like you are overpaying their taxes. But now you have a chance to turn that around and stop being a victim to taxes. What is my objective for today's training? Simple. It is to show you how to make more money and keep more of what you are making. To show you why self-employed business people are overpaying their taxes by hundreds, if not by thousands of dollars every year. Why your CPA, attorney, or taxpayer is causing you to overpay your taxes and has been doing so for many years, but it's not their fault. Also, to show you how to audit-proof your tax return and to pay the bare minimum taxes legally allowed by the tax code. Now, who is this training for? Simple. It's any self-employed individual or small business person that is tired of overpaying their taxes or is looking for ways to legally pay less than they are while looking to make sure that they're protected against IRS audits. On the flip side, who is this training not for? Well, it's anyone who is not serious about their business or profession. A person who is not making money in the business. Face it, if you're not making money, you do not have a tax problem. You have a cash flow problem. People who think that their attorney or CPA knows everything, or they have their brother-in-law doing their taxes. If you are not open-minded and willing to work with new ideas, then neither I or anyone can actually help you. If you like paying taxes and wish that you owed more, then you do need help. Unfortunately, not the type of help that I can provide. And those looking to cheat the IRS, the methods that I use are legal and part of the tax code. If any of these apply to you, simply please turn this webinar off now. It is not meant for you. Now, who is the man behind the curtain? Well, I've been in the tax industry since 1974 with clients in 8 states and 4 countries, and that list is growing every day. I am registered as a tax practitioner with the IRS for tax filing and problem resolution. I have been a past financial planner with MetLife, a realtor since the late 80s, and still licensed as a realtor with initial training from Century 21. I've worked with custom builders and investors creating portfolios of real estate to hold and sell or to rent out as part of their exit strategy plan. Also, I was a real estate sales and a mortgage broker training for the Florida Mortgage Academy. Now, you may be asking the question, wait, I already have a tax professional doing my taxes. Don't they know the best way to save me on taxes? Well, the answer is yes, but most likely no. See, the preparation of your taxes is done with information of what you did last year. At the time you're doing your taxes, it is too late to save money because it's too late to implement a plan for that year. So basically, you're overpaying that year. Taxes are also done in a short window of time, and they may not have the time to develop a tax strategy with you for the coming year. Now, they also may know taxes. They may be very good with taxes, but do they know your business, its operations, and industry? Let's look at a couple case studies of good intentions that went south for the winter. They went wrong. You see, once upon a time, there was a local contractor who had been in business for years, and after 10 years, the accountant that they had used retired and sold his practice to a large tax preparation firm. Now, after meeting with their new tax practitioner at tax time, well, they didn't click. And the contractor went looking for someone else for the next year and found us. Well, we offered to review their past taxes to see where they stood. And we did an interview with what they had done. After reviewing their previous tax year's return, we noticed several deductions that had been missed, expenses that existed but were never deducted. Now, we filed an amended tax return for the previous year and saved them thousands of dollars and continue to do so today. You see, we put together a tax plan for them so they could stop overpaying their taxes going forward. Another story, a woman that was a residential realtor that got that dreaded letter from the IRS claiming that she owed over $78,000 in back taxes, which also included penalties and interest. You see, her husband had suffered a stroke, and she was barely surviving from one transaction to the next because of her husband's increased medical expenses and the reduced time she had to work at her business. Well, we were able to reinstate many of the expenses that the IRS had overlooked and work with the IRS to forgive the penalties and interest on the remaining tax debt. We put together an offering compromise and then a payment plan for the rest. Now, she will be tax debt-free in about 2 years. She's taken control of her finances and now knows what she needs to do every year to make herself audit-proof while paying the minimum tax for her situation. Another one, a doctor that was under contract with the Department of Defense as an employee. This meant he received a W-2 form at the end of the year, but he also had a private practice. Between the two, he made over $250,000 a year, but the taxes that he paid were killing him. Every year, the tax bill went up, and he was caught in a vicious cycle of having to work more to pay all his bills. But that also meant his tax bill went up as well. We reviewed his operations, and we identified additional deductions that he was missing out on. We also showed him ways to structure his operations to lower his tax liability as much as possible. So even though his total income went up last year, he still paid $44,000 less in taxes than he had in the previous year before we came into the picture. And they're looking to saving no less than $46,000 for next year. So how can you save between $10,000 to $100,000 or maybe more in your business each year and make it audit proof? Well, first, let's address that elephant in the room. The big problem with most small to medium-sized business owners is that they're focusing all their time and efforts on the things that they think matter the most. They're devoting their time and efforts to running the day-to-day operations of their business. They're putting out fires between customers, their own people, and vendors. They're responding to government notices. And then they're pulling out their hair when the deal falls through or they can't make their bills. And the next day, it's rinse and repeat. Now, all of these activities, all these things are important because they're income-producing activities. And if you're watching this training, I'm guessing you already have this covered. However, as money is rolling in, the number one killer to profits for any business is tax. The sad truth is that most small business owners do not spend a single hour during the year on tax planning and implementation until the end of the year when it's too late for that year. Then the next year, like all New Year's resolutions, you promise to do it, but it doesn't happen because the business gets in the way. It's like trying to call the fire department after your house has burnt down. Great, they're there, but the house is gone. Too late. So even if your business is successful and you make a ton of money, the tax man will happily take anywhere from 25 to 50% of your profits. So the solution, what is it? Is there a solution? Yes, there is. Well, first of all, how is the business structured? You need to design your business with the intention of minimizing your tax liability as much as possible. You have to maximize your deduction. You have to know what you're spending and where. Review your operations and make sure you're deducting everything that is legally possible. Do you have minor children? Why don't you hire them to perform simple business tax? As a minor, they may not have to pay taxes on it, and it is a legitimate business expense, lowering your tax liability. Although medical expenses are deductible in your personal taxes, it is also severely limited to the point that it may not even exist. Learn how the business can pay for most of them and offset the cost of your health care. Now, are you taking the correct home deduction? Are you taking a home office deduction? Does this even apply to you? Learn how the business can rent out your home for a special event like a sales meeting and make it tax-free to you. Are you taking your actual auto expenses related to your business? Or are you taking the standard mile deduction? Or are you even taking this as an expense? Now, there's more, but everything is based on you, and no two businesses run the same, even if they're in the same industry. Now, if you've never worked with someone on tax planning, and if you've not worked with a tax professional that learns about your business and operations to make sure that you're not missing out on deductions and leaving money on the table, well, then you basically have three options in front of you at this point in time. Option number one, do absolutely nothing. Leave it alone. Keep overpaying your taxes and grumble and mumble when you don't like what the government is doing with your tax money. Option number two, now that you know some of the things to do, go at it alone. Spend thousands of dollars in time learning and trying to figure this out and implementing it. Learning is only part of the issue. You need to implement your plan and strategy. Possibly getting frustrated with the time that you spent devoting yourself to this mission when you can be out there making sales, working your business, and at the same time taking the chance that you will be challenged by the IRS and end up paying back taxes, penalties, and interest on top of all of that. There is an option number three. Team up with someone that has been in the trenches and in your shoes that also knows the tax system, someone that has helped other small to medium-sized business owners in your exact situation, implementing the plan that you need to make by calling me. Bonus time. Aren't you happy you stuck around? Bonus number one, contact me and I will send to you by email my list of tax deductions for small businesses and self-employed individuals. Let me ask you a question. Did your accountant ever give you one of these? Bonus number two, I have made arrangements with a company that has created a phone application, and this application is going to be on your phone, whether it's an Apple operating system or an Android, that will track your expenses and business miles. Not only does this help you put together your expenses when you're doing your taxes, but also creates an audit-proof system compliant with the IRS that will keep the IRS off your back if they ever come knocking. Contact me and I'll send you a link so you can test drive this app for 14 days risk-free. Option bonus number three, rather. I'll send you a $50 cash offer voucher that you can use yourself if you'd like me to prepare your next year's income tax or to put together a tax plan. And finally, bonus number four. Let me review your last year's tax return for missed deductions. Now, to receive your bonuses or for a free consultation, call my office at 407-854-4718. Again, direct 407-854-4718. 888-474-4718 or by email to askjohn at 4cashsolutions.com or visit our website at 4, again, that's the 4, cashsolutions.com. As a fellow business person, I wish you well, I wish you luck, and hopefully, and this is according to the Small Business Administration, you succeed in your business. According to the SBA, within the first 3 years, 50% of all starter businesses will fail. Within the first 5 years, 90% will fail. And the reason for their failure is simply cash flow issues. So thank you for attending this webinar, and God bless you.